Alabama is coming off of one of the most dominant runs in recent college football history and coming off of a team that was, in my opinion, one of the best teams in the history of college football. To expect them to be even better in 2021, well, this one, is pretty easy because I don't really see how you could expect this team to be better. But could they be as good? Could this Alabama team repeat what they did last year? That's the big question. Are they going to be right back there in the college football playoff, another shot at a national championship? You have to think that this team will be at least in that discussion, but they do lose a lot from last year. It starts with the quarterback position. Mac Jones, he's going to be gone. Bryce Young, he will be the key. Very highly touted recruit coming in here. We haven't seen a lot from him. The chemistry with Bryce Young, the wide receivers, and the new offensive coordinator, that is going to probably be the biggest key to Alabama's success in 2021. Najee Harris is gone, but I think they'll be okay at running back. Trey Sanders, maybe that next star for them. Still haven't heard from Brian Robinson. He may come back, a senior, but again, everyone has that extra year of eligibility. He could be back. And of course, losing Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle at wide receiver, that's a big blow. But Mechie really stepped up for them last year. You've got a bunch of other young guys that are very, very talented. You look at Jaleel Billingsley at tight end. He's kind of a hybrid tight end wide receiver. Expect him to be a big key in the pass game this year. They also do lose Miller Forrestall at tight end. And then on the offensive line, I think this is a team that I think this is an area of this team, I should say, that was really underrated last year. This was one of the best offensive lines in the country, maybe the best offensive line in the country. If you watch them play, Mac Jones very rarely felt pressure at that quarterback spot. He usually had all day to throw. Leatherwood is gone. Deontay Brown is gone. Landon Dickerson is gone. Going to be tough to replace these guys. They do bring back Chris Owens. He's a senior that decided to come back. So you got some talent there, some younger guys. Evan Neal. It was a big-time recruit. Expect him to be maybe one of the top guys on the offensive line. But overall, when you look at this offense, it's impossible to think that this team is going to be where they were last year. I don't think that is realistic at all. I think this team definitely takes a step back offensively. Even if Bryce Young comes out and he's the next Tua Tagovailoa, I still think just the chemistry and new faces on the offensive line, no Najee Harris, no Devontae Smith. I don't see any way that this team could repeat what they did last year. That would really surprise me if they're able to do that. On the defensive side of the ball, though, I think this team maybe could be even better. You lose a guy like Christian Barmore up front, that is a big blow. You lose Dylan Moses, one of the top linebackers in the country. Joshua McMillan also going to be gone. But they have a ton of guys coming back. Defensive line should be fine. You got Christopher Allen at linebacker. You've got Will Anderson, who really emerged last year, was really solid for them, a freshman. Drew Sanders, freshman, highly touted recruit. Christian Harris will be back, Shane Lee. This team has a lot of talent at linebacker. Remember 2 years ago they had all the injuries. That kind of allowed them to play a lot of young players. And I think because of that, the depth was so strong for them at linebacker that losing Moses and losing McMillan, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So I think the linebackers will be just as good as they were last year. They've got another great recruiting class coming in. The defensive line will be strong. Yes, the loss of Barmore is a big one, but still front seven I think will be really good. Patrick Surtain at cornerback will be a big blow on the defensive side of the ball. But Josh Jobe will be back. You got some young players who really stepped up last year for them. How about Malachi Moore, who is kind of I think they call it the star safety corner hybrid guy. He was really good for them last year. Jordan Battle at safety, really good. DeMarco Helms will be back. Daniel Wright, he really emerged as a star for them. That number 2 cornerback, the opposite of Josh Jobe, that may be their biggest question on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they return enough to where you could expect this defense to be just as good as it was last year, maybe even better, because remember, they'll have a full spring practice this year, something that they did not have last year. So defensively, Alabama should be just as good, maybe even better, but because of all of those losses on the offensive side of the ball, losing Mac Jones, losing Najee Harris, losing Devontae Smith, and then also the coaches that they lost. Steve Sarkisian gone to Texas. How's the new offense going to look? Those are big question marks, and because of that, I think the offense definitely takes a step back. This is still a team in the big picture, the big scheme. This is still a team that can win the SEC. It's still a team that can get to the college football playoff. Still a team that can maybe win a national championship. But to compare them to 2020, I think this team definitely is worse. I think 2021 team for Alabama is worse than the 2020 team. But at the end of the day, the results could potentially still be there to where it could be another great year for Alabama.